你说气人不？在这场里面，你是皇上，我应该是太子。我被别人打了，我老爸了，还没出个面，医药费还是我自己贴的，我受得了不？
A billionaire kindly adopted a poor boy, but after raising him, the boy ended up fighting with the man's biological daughter over the family fortune, loudly claiming he was the crown prince of this household. Enraged, the adoptive father declared, "I'll give you 2 million yuan, now get out of my sight." The scruffy man standing before us is named Zhang Zhou. He's already 35 years old, and he doesn't look anything like the son of a billionaire. He said he spent 3 years furiously earning 70,000 yuan to build a house back home, and he felt incredibly proud of that. But while the house might look grand, he's already in debt by 200,000 yuan. Zhang Zhou told reporters that his father is a businessman in Changsha, with a personal net worth of at least 100 million yuan. Yet, his father is unwilling to help him through this difficult time.
长沙原现在就是一栋厂房，还有一个6层楼的办公楼。
那6层楼的办公楼都是他的。
对。
Not long ago, Zhang Zhou suddenly received word that his father wanted to sever ties with him by paying him 2 million yuan. Even the legal representative of the company had been changed to his sister. Zhang Zhou found this hard to accept. He suspected that his father and sister had teamed up to prevent him from inheriting the family fortune. So what exactly happened between this father and son? Soon after, Zhang Zhou brought a reporter with him and stormed into the factory to confront his father. But to everyone's surprise, one sentence from his father, Zhang Zhishu, left the reporter speechless.
这个儿子，你跟他讲，我不是我的儿子，是养子，一点都不亲啊！一不但不亲，也不近，也不能够影响我们家在一起。14年也没回来过年，15年没回来过年，16年跟姐姐到底吃了晚饭又跑了。
Zhang Zhishu told us that Zhang Zhou is not his biological son, but a young boy he took in 30 years ago. At the time, he saw that Zhang Zhou's birth parents were both disabled, and out of compassion, he decided to bring Zhang Zhou home and raise him as his own. Every year, he would still have Zhang Zhou visit his biological parents to fulfill his duties. He even bought Zhang Zhou a car and a house in the city.
还给他房子，给他汽车，我还准备给他的2个小孩的抚养费20年，1个月1万块钱，因为他个小孩刚去世嘛，孩子1岁嘛，所以我尽了义务把他们孩子抚养大。
Zhang Zhishu truly did everything an adoptive father could be expected to do. But Zhang Zhou? After growing up, he repeatedly took money from the family and ran away, each time disappearing for years. He never showed any concern for his adoptive parents. He even built a villa in the countryside. From a young age, he was only thinking about how to inherit the family wealth. This kind of behavior deeply disappointed his adoptive father, Zhang Zhishu. In a fit of anger, he decided to cut ties with Zhang Zhou once and for all, considering him an ungrateful white-eyed wolf. Now, all Zhang Zhishu wants is to let this bond come to an end peacefully, to sever this father-son relationship once and for all.
你说气人不？在这场里面，你是皇上，我应该是太子。我被别人打了，我老爸了，还没出个面，医药费还是我自己贴的，我受得了不？你问父亲是吧？我被人打了，你有没有站出来说过一句话？
A billionaire in Changsha adopted a poor child out of kindness, but once the child grew up, he wanted to seize the family's assets worth over 100 million yuan, demanding that his adoptive parents worship him as the crown prince. According to Zhang Zhou, his father, Zhang Zhishu, has always looked down on him. When this so-called crown prince was assaulted by ordinary factory workers, his adoptive father not only said nothing in his defense, but didn't even offer private comfort. He felt that, as the boss's son, his dignity had been trampled. That's why Zhang Zhou chose to leave home 3 years ago, hoping to prove himself with his business acumen. Unfortunately, during those 3 years, Zhang Zhou not only failed to earn any money, he ended up racking up 200,000 yuan in debt. In the end, he returned home and gave up trying. But to his shock, he discovered that the company's legal representative had already been changed to his sister, Zhang Shi.
爸爸已经把公司都已经转到姐姐名下了。
啊，对。
This made Zhang Zhou even more convinced that his adoptive father had colluded with his sister to drive him out. In response, His adoptive father Zhang Zhishu explained that he was approaching retirement age and needed to hand over the company to the next generation. But Zhang Zhou had been away from home for 3 to 4 years, never showing care or concern for his adoptive parents. How could he possibly entrust the company to someone he wasn't even close to?
公司的名字，因为我也慢慢在转变，因为我60岁也退吧，是吧？慢慢这么华人呢，转到下一代，是吧？这个华人是经营者呢，经营者与这有什么关系呢？我能经营他来经营吗？
After graduating from university, his biological daughter Zhang she had been helping run the company all along, which is why the legal representative was changed to her name. This was the natural consequence of Zhang Zhou abandoning the family and reaping what he had sown. Yet Zhang Zhou still believed his adoptive parents were being unfair and favoring his sister.
父母亲是真的是没那个什么，没把我当个亲生人样的。
硬要心里要比谁都好，就是那种味道，对吧？对对，
His adoptive mother was well aware of Zhang Zhou's heavy mindset and tried her best to treat both children equally. But the distinction between closeness and distance is hard to balance. Ultimately, Zhang Zhou had never truly integrated into the family. All he ever thought about was how to inherit the family wealth, without putting in any real effort or hardship.
他这个思维不改变，他一辈子也幸福不了。很激动，也不勤快，
怎么的呢？
一不努力，只知道要钱，只知道要钱，
他这个情况
是吧？根本没言语，也没言语我的信念，也没言语我的家庭，只讲成这个比这么一个攀啊，没理由啊，没什么吃好啊，也没什么学好啊，也没开过这个好车啊，都比这些东西。
In fact, Zhang Zhishu had always regarded Zhang Zhou as his successor and raised him accordingly. Even the name of the company included the characters Zhang Zhou, which shows just how deeply his adoptive father cared. However, Zhang Zhou was blinded by the immediate lure of money. He constantly asked the family for financial support, and whenever things didn't go his way, he'd throw a tantrum, turning the entire household into chaos. In the end, Zhang Zhishu decided, out of both anger and disappointment, to sever their father-son relationship, hoping it would awaken Zhang Zhou and help him turn his life around. Unfortunately, Zhang Zhou failed to understand his adoptive father's painstaking intentions.
养子本来就不是儿子，他不同意改区关系，我老爸登报再改区，必须改区。
A billionaire adopted a poor boy out of kindness. But when that boy grew up, he wanted to split the billion-yuan estate equally, claiming to be the young master of the factory, and demanded that everyone obey his commands. Because of Zhang Zhou's arrogant personality, he frequently clashed with ordinary factory workers. In hopes of shaping his character, the adoptive parents arranged for a friend to give Zhang Zhou a basic-level position in the company, hoping it would help him learn and grow. But their well-meaning intentions were met with his complete rejection. Instead, Zhang Zhou gave up and ran away from home.
彻底失望，太寒心了，特别寒心。
Over the past 20 years, Zhang Zhishu had carefully laid out plans and put his heart into cultivating Zhang Zhou as the company's next leader. But tragically, Zhang Zhou only ever thought about how to divide up the wealth. He even secretly built a villa back in his hometown to retire in. That final act utterly shattered Zhang Zhishu's trust and expectations. So now, no matter what it takes, he's determined to sever ties with Zhang Zhou.
我的财产与子女都无关，
你知道我为什么要起这个房？
因为我这个7年我不死之前都是我的，任何人都拿不到的。我现在他这个样子，再拿我的遗产，你跟你讲，没有希望了，没有希望了。
Hearing his adoptive father speak so firmly, Zhang Zhou suddenly began to panic. He started to humble himself, repeatedly admitting his mistakes, hoping that their father-son bond could be restored. But his adoptive father remained unmoved and insisted on cutting off the relationship no matter what. Seeing how unyielding his adoptive father was, Zhang Zhou had no choice but to slink back to the countryside in defeat. Yet in front of the camera, he still stubbornly insisted.
他多少家产你不惦记，他过着怎么风光的日子你也不惦记，你就是想在这边有一块自己的土，有一处自己的房子，安安静静的一家人过日子。
But as he spoke, tears of regret began to stream down Zhang Zhou's face. His heart was filled with mixed emotions, What exactly he was thinking, no one could say. Later, Zhang Zhou still hoped to return to his adoptive father's side and work at the company again. But his adoptive father wouldn't even give him the chance to meet.
你的家产，我从创业起我就没打算跟你争取。至于你这个养育之恩，我就是说跟你说一下，你不要去认为我是靠你这点家产。你说你要断绝父子关系可以，就按你说的办。但是不管是现在还是将来，你需要这个养子的时候，养子是会来的。
Before leaving, Zhang Zhou glanced around at the familiar surroundings. So many years had passed. He was worn down by life's burdens. From now on, he would lay down the weight and be himself. Was this departure something to regret? I think, deep down, Zhang Zhou already had his answer. As the old saying goes, dragons birth dragons, phoenixes birth phoenixes, and a rat's son knows how to dig. His adoptive father raised him all these years, yet he missed countless chances to strive for a better future. In the end, he could only blame himself for not being good enough.
To put it plainly, he wasn't a biological son, but this adoptive father treated him even better than a real one. A house, a car, child support. He gave him everything, even left him a chance to take over the business. But Zhang Zhou, he never once put his heart into it, never shed a drop of sweat. All he thought about was dividing up the inheritance. The moment things didn't go his way, he'd throw a tantrum or sulk. Now that the company's no longer his, he suddenly wants to admit fault and reconcile? Too late. What this world fears most isn't being unloved, but taking someone's kindness for granted. Zhang Zhou wasn't mistreated. He simply wasn't worthy of forgiveness. If you were this adoptive father, would you still give him another chance? Welcome to share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your voice. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time.